Hello, this is the review of the new WARBEAR piston. I got this piston to replace my matte piston that had a bit of a failure here. So, the first impressions are that, well, obviously it looks very much like the SHS pistons, but there is some differences that I have already noticed. For instance, this rack here is actually completely different from those SHS ones, because the SHS ones, they are actually injection molded or MIM process made, and this is actually sintered. In a very close-up view here, you can see the typical marks for a sintered part. So basically, if you don't know what sintering is, it's a process of compressing steel powder, really fine steel powder, into a shape and then heating it in a furnace to sinter the particles together, and the result is a solid metal part like this. And sintering is used for the most gears actually in airsoft guns. So the body itself of the piston is I'm kind of disappointed, to be honest, because of the dimension changes they have done from the Tokyo spec. Here I have a caliber. I'm gonna demonstrate the differences. Like, one really very critical dimension is the width of this part here. Here you can see it's 20.8 millimeters, and on a Tokyo piston the same dimension is almost a full millimeter more. So that's bad. Oh, and one important thing to note is the body material of this one. This is advertised to be polycarbonate, but actually this is nylon. And so, just to make that one clear, I know that because I'm studying plastics engineering, and I can tell by just holding this in my hand that this is not polycarbonate. This is indeed nylon, and that is the fact. So don't comment that this is polycarbonate, because this is not polycarbonate. Polycarbonate is different, but I'm not going into that now. Maybe in some different video, but that's not relevant in this case. So, and also this width of this groove here, it's roughly 2.22 or 2.34, and Tokyo it's 2.2 roughly. So that's not a huge difference, but it's noticeable. And that's a problem, because then it's gonna have more slop on this rails on your gearbox. But that's not that huge of an issue most of the time. But it can actually change the distance of the piston meshing with the sector gear. The rails are really loose, but in this case it seems to mesh just fine. Now here you can actually see how the first dimension I measured has an effect here. I don't know if I can demonstrate it clearly, but that's there's so much room here. There's so much room here that the piston can almost like slip away from the rails. So that's not really good. But actually the sector gear will sort of prevent that from happening as well with the piston head, because the piston head will obviously be contacting the cylinder. So the piston will always remain sort of centered, but you still want to have enough contact so that it will last longer and not wear out so quickly. And to the reinforcements in this back area here, this is obviously different from the SHS 14 tooth and 15 tooth ones. There is a bit more support here, but I wish they would have added more here in this corner. There is plenty of room inside the gearbox to add material here in these corners. It's not a good idea to have sharp corners like this in plastic components. As well here, the back lip behind the rack, it could actually extend, here, so that it would support the pickup area better. So that, because now when the corner is like right here, if the piston is under really high stress, it will crack. It will possibly start cracking, and where it's gonna crack, it's gonna be right here on that corner. So it would be very simple and not expensive to add in the mold. All you're gonna do is just mill some grooves in the mold here, so that those areas will be filled with plastic. So then this corner here would be gone. But I don't know why they don't do that. And the walls here are quite thin, just 1.5 millimeters. On the Tokyo Marui it's pretty much 2 millimeters. So that's the difference. And also the internal diameter, it's roughly 15.7 on the Tokyo Marui. This one, whoa, yeah, that's quite loose, but that's really not an issue itself. But there is no, or there is a reason to make it so thin. It's when you have really thin-walled plastic part like this, it's much easier to actually manufacture these in a faster speed and larger quantities. So of course the manufacturers follow the money instead of, yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna correct the angle of engagement here, the standard modification to remove this teeth here and lower this one to get the angle right. So is there anything else here? Not really. I guess I'm just gonna throw this in the gun here and see how it goes. And of course, after removing these teeth, I will glue this rack in place with some proper CA glue, so that it won't come off. And yeah, I think that's it. Well, at this point I can say that I'm a bit disappointed, but I'm still gonna see how it goes. So thanks for watching.